Hi guys, welcome to Fierce and Pretty. Honey here. It's time to do a little sequel to my latest crystal video that I did a few weeks ago, because I showed kind of like half of the collection because it would have taken ages. So here's the sequel of my collection, and then as a little bonus at the end I'm gonna show my daughter's little crystal collection also, if anybody is curious to see what that little one is doing down in her room. So let's just jump into the things that are still left unshown from my collection. Yeah, I know, this ain't no crystal. It's a piece of amber. I also do have an amber ring, but it's now at the jeweler. It's getting fixed and polished, so that one's not here. But I do have this little piece of amber. And continuing with the yellow theme, I have this beautiful pale yellow honey calcite sphere. And this one is mainly for my solar plexus workings. And then yet a little paler yellow citrine kind of flame. The shadows and fractures inside it. Beautifully shaped citrine kind of flame. And kind of, if here we are in the yellow zone, in the kind of solar plexus area, if we go downwards, like grounding things, I have this rhodonite sphere, which has a lot more black. I guess these ones are called the snowflakes because the pattern of the pink rhodonite, and then there's kind of like this brown goldish hue. So I believe this is a snowflake rhodonite. This one is my newest in the collection, and she's heavy. She's more on the pink side of rhodonite. A beautiful rhodonite skull. She weighs 1 kilo 300 grams. So I love how detailed all the carving is. It's beautiful. All these kind of openings and these eyes, and of course when we purchased this of course my daughter and hubby had to try something fun while shopping. But this one is not so much for me. It stays on the altar on top of John, so it's mostly there. But I think because sometimes people wonder what the fudge is Fierce and Pretty all about. It's nothing about me or looks or anything of that sort. But Fierce and Pretty is kind of an ideology of those themes that are kind of fierce, but at the same time super pretty. And to me, this rhodonite skull impersonation of the idea of Fierce and Pretty, as are like some tarot decks and whatever. That's where the name for the channel comes. Things like this. Then if you've seen my earlier collection video, you might know that I kind of like quartz. I really enjoy clear quartz. But a thing that I didn't have in my collection before this one is a fire and ice quartz. And well, it kind of sounds, I don't know, I honestly don't know what I think about the trading, but these, all these cracks inside these stones, which are impossible to try to show on camera, are created by heating and then cooling the crystal, like extreme temperatures, which kind of sounds, I don't know how the stones feel about that. But anyway, I was so curious to see how this type of quartz would feel different than, untreated with this heat and cold. But this chunk has a really, really nice energy. It's totally different than the rainbow quartz that I have, which is taller than this one. Then last time I showed you my orange Lemurian, which was my first Lemurian, and while getting that I got into the Lemurian Quartz, and now I have 3 Brazilian Lemurians. This one, and then this one that is slightly bigger. There you see those Lemurian stripes. So just for size comparison, these two, I don't know where they come from other than Brazil, but this longer one is from the Diamantina area in Brazil, and this is my absolute favorite. So far how I've worked with it, I've been sleeping with this one under my pillow. I do have a lot of stuff under my pillow, guys. Hubby laughs at me sometimes. But yes, this one is my favorite of the Lemurians. And even this, you know, the point where it's been snapped off or broken off, whatever, it's smooth. There are no sharp edges. Hard to get the camera to focus on those, you know, Lemurian shapes that these have. Then this little guy, it's called Brandberg Quartz. You can see it has, I'm trying to show it against this obsidian, it has a purple tone in it. Hope you can see it. And the Brandberg quartz crystals, they do come from Brandberg, so I don't know, in Swedish it would be Brandberg, which is a fire mountain, and I have no clue why it's called, it has like a Swedish name, because this fire mountain is in Namibia, so I don't know, but there these little guys come from. These Brandberg quartz, they form in combinations of amethyst, smoky and clear quartz. So this looks like an amethyst made baby with clear quartz, to me at least. I haven't done anything special with this one yet, and it's gonna take me time to get to know this little one, but I thought that this was something special that I needed to get. Then this guy is Rutilated Gold quartz. It has a bit matte kind of feeling on top of it, and it's impossible to try to show this well on camera, but there are a lot of, you know, things inside this. It's like these little strings of gold, you know, they are razor sharp, you know, geometric shapes of gold sticks or fibers or whatever. It's a fascinating little piece. Then this Labradorite palm stone is something that I use daily. I use it in aura meditations, aura working, and also just I like to hold on to it while I'm, for example, watching TV or whatever. It's really calming. It has the perfect size, and the texture in it is just, it's calming to hold and to touch, and really beautiful to look. But the most powerful it has been as a working companion has been in these aura meditations. And obsidian is one of my absolute favorite mineral bodies. Technically kind of not a crystal, but you know, it's volcanic glass, but the energy of obsidian is really special to me. Mostly I work with my big obsidian chunk that I showed in the last video, but this one is new, and this one I keep on my altar on top of John, where I put things. I use this as a kind of a cleaning surface. And like with all my obsidians, I do rituals with them to clean them and to charge them and repeat if needed. But I have this special ritual for my obsidians, and this one you could also use as a scrying mirror, a black mirror, but I haven't tried that one yet. Then the last piece in my collection before we jump and take a peek to my daughter's collection is this Shungite Merkaba that I got at the same time when I got the rhodonite skull when I was shopping at Tarotpoti, and it's such a fascinating shape. It inspired me to dig in deeper to sacred geometry. Of course, as a Thoth geek, I am, familiar with sacred geometry already before, but this little buddy started a totally new rabbit hole when I started to look in again deeper into these universal shapes of Merkabas and flower of life and seed of life and cube of Metatron and whatever, and I just loved it. And this being Shungite is an interesting mineral in that way that it has this, a whole lot more research done than most of the crystals, and the world of Shungite is definitely interesting. But with this specific, piece of Shungite, I find the Merkaba shape even more interesting. I've just started to work with this. I've had it less than a week, but let's see. And getting this Merkaba inspired me also to do this tarot reading that Bara Vivian shared on her Instagram page. So this one was fun. I used the Shimmering Veil tarot deck, but I think this was a fun way also to combine minerals in tarot cards in one thing. So this was the rest of my collection. If you haven't seen the previous one, if you're interested to see the whole collection, here's just a little picture of the previous video, so you see what I have there or compared to things in this video. But let's take a quick sneak peek to my daughter's room, and let's start it with this one. This isn't mine, but she's in school now, so I stole her stuff to show it to you guys. We got this deck to her last week, and it's a Daily Crystal Inspiration Oracle deck. And this is what the card backs look like. It has a guidebook, not unillustrated, but like a page each looks like. Haven't read it, no idea of the content, but I'm happy that my daughter is also into this stuff, so then I can borrow her stuff. And this is what the cards look like. Really clean, simple. There is the name of the stone and then a little kind of affirmation like, for this carnelian, feed your creativity. But I think we were comparing all the oracle decks of crystals that the store had, and this was our favorite because this really shows and focuses on, what the crystal looks like. And it does have the names of the stones and the crystals, and then this little affirmation. So even though I'm not a big oracle person, this was something that I really liked. And yesterday evening I sneaked into my daughter's room and just, had to pull one card. And look, there's the Lemurian Quartzes that I showed, and Labradorite. So things that we've seen already on this table. But this was just a little sneak peek to the deck. And then if you look at my daughter's room, she clearly loves plants, as do I, but also the crystals. The crystals are like everywhere, underneath the flowers, in the water bottle, on shelves, in jewelry. And before, she used to have all these crystals on the windowsill, like spread out. But now this weekend we bought her this treasure chest, which is now filled with the smaller pieces. And these are some of her favorites. This malachite that I brought her from Scotland, And then the Spirit Quartz amethysts, that also this kind of beautiful baby pink purple type of amethyst cluster. But yeah, these are her favorites, and I think it's wonderful that we can borrow each other's stones. When we ask, we always ask permission what we can or can't, use. And it's a beautiful hobby to have together with a teenager. So this was the second part of my crystal collection. I would love to hear your thoughts on what was your favorite piece on the table today. But until next time, bye guys!